Last week, we have been discussing that how Lord Kapila offered Adhyatmika Yoga as the solution for Mother Devahuti's inquiry. Not only for Mother Devahuti, for anyone in this material world who is bound by the three modes of material nature, the one and only solution for us to get freed from the three modes of material nature, get freed from the samsara, get freed from the material existence is Adhyatmika Yoga. This Adhyatmika Yoga contains three processes: Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. And for these three processes, there are some prerequisites, some do's and don'ts, controlling the senses, mind, and this and that, following the rules and regulations, etc. But among the three, Bhakti is considered to be the most auspicious path, according to Lord Kapila, according to Shastra, according to great sages. Okay. If Bhakti Yoga is the most auspicious path, and which Lord Kapila says, I recommend that you should follow this Bhakti Yoga. Because Mother Devoti asked, by doing what I will be liberated from this samsara. Though Adhyatmika Yoga contains three processes, Jnana, Yoga, and Bhakti, but Lord Kapila recommends Mother Devoti to follow Bhakti Yoga. Okay. If I have to do Bhakti Yoga, how do I know Bhakti Yoga? How do I understand how to execute Bhakti Yoga? You can understand about Bhakti Yoga from the great devotees. So who are those great devotees? How do you understand somebody is a devotee? Then Lord Kapila tells what are the secondary qualities of devotee, and then primary qualities of a devotee: Titikshava, Karunika, Suruda, Sarvadehinam, etc. And Mai Anandina Bhavena Bhaktin Kurvanti Drudam. These are the primary qualities, etc. So after identifying such kind of devotees, go to such kind of devotees with some faith and bhakti, And when you go there, they will engage one in bhakti activities such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So as one engages in bhakti, being instructed by these wonderful devotees who possess the primary and secondary characteristics, qualities, slowly, as we engage in bhakti, that is bhajana kriya, there is anartha nivrutti. And then after anartha nivrutti, in the association of such strong devotees, then there is quick anartha nivrutti, and then there is quick manifestation of nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema. This is how one comes to the platform of prema very quickly by the association of such wonderful and strong devotees. And then Lord Kapila also tells, similarly, by the practice of jnana mixed with bhakti and by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga mixed with bhakti, one can attain Sayujya Mukti. By bhakti, one attains prema and one goes to Vaikuntha. By the practice of jnana and Ashtanga Yoga mixed with bhakti, one attains Sayujya Mukti. So Lord Kapila stops. Then Mother Devoti asks two questions. She says that, okay, among the three processes of Adhyatmika Yoga, you told that I should practice Bhakti Yoga. And please tell me what kind of Bhakti Yoga I am supposed to follow so that even a person like me, even a woman like me can attain you very easily without much obstacles. A easy process of attaining Lord's lotus feet. That is the first question. The second question is that you also spoke about jnana mixed with bhakti and yoga mixed with bhakti. So please speak about that jnana mixed with bhakti and speak about that yoga mixed with bhakti. What are they and how many divisions do they have, etc. etc. So one may ask question. So when Lord Kapila is telling you that bhakti is suitable for you, you should practice bhakti. Why are you asking about jnana and yoga? What is the need for you to understand them? Then Mother Devhuti says that I should know and perform bhakti approved by you, so that I want to know bhakti. So please tell me. Same way, Similarly, just like an inquisitive person tries to understand bhakti so that he can practice bhakti, similarly, an intelligent person wants to know others' ideas also, other paths also, so that there will be no confusion, there will be no doubt, and there will be no looking here and there in the future. So with that intention, Mother Devoti asked that please speak about Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga also, so that in the future I will not ask the question saying that okay, you told me Bhakti and Bhakti is so difficult. I mean, you should have told me about Jnana might have been very easy. So one should know about Bhakti, Jnana and Ashtanga in detail in advance only. Afterwards, when one selects one path, so there will be no kind of questioning like that. Okay, that could have been easy. This could have been easy. Such kind of questions will not come afterwards. So with that intention, she asked the question that please speak about Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga also. Their divisions, subdivisions, so that I will have some knowledge about them also without any doubt. So having asked this question, Mother Devoti is waiting for Lord Kapila's reply. So then Maitreya Rishi says that Lord Kapila slightly smiled and then replied. Knowing the purpose of his mother and being affectionate to her because he was born from her, Lord Kapila describes Sankhya Yoga in chapter 26 and 27. That is nothing but Jnana Yoga. And then he talks about Ashtanga Yoga in chapter 27 and 28. And then he speaks about Bhakti in chapter 25 itself. The remaining chapter is all about Bhakti. So what kind of Bhakti Mother Devahoti is supposed to practice? That Bhakti is being described in chapter 25. So in order to answer the question, what kind of Bhakti should I perform to easily attain you? Lord Kapila speaks about Uttama Bhakti. 32 verse onwards, Lord Kapila explains Uttama Bhakti. So Uttama Bhakti we might have heard in the Bhakti Shastri, Nectar of Devotion. Uttama Bhakti is defined by Shla Goswami. Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Alavrutam Anukulena Krishnanushīlanam Bhakti Uttama. So this verse is compiled by Shla Goswami recently, about 500 years back. But Lord Kapila spoke about same Uttama Bhakti in a different way at the beginning of the day of Brahma. And that verse is this one. This is the definition of Uttama Bhakti by Lord Kapila, which has same meaning as that of Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. So now let us try to understand it. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri Bhagavan
Sri
Uvacha.
Bhagavan
One person.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Devanam Gunalinganam
Devanam Gunalinganam
Anushravika Karmanam
Anushravika Karmanam
Tattva Evaika Manaso
Sattvayevaika Manaso
Vrittihi Swabhaviki Tuya
Vritti Svabhaviki Tuya
Animitta Bhagavati
Animitta Bhagavati
Bhakti Siddhergariyasi.
Bhakti Siddhergariyasi. Lord Kapila said, the senses are symbolic representations of the demigods, and their natural inclination is to work under the direction of the Vedic injunctions. As the senses are the representative of the demigods, so the mind is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mind's natural duty is to serve. When that service spirit is engaged in devotional service to the Personality of Godhead without any motive, that is far better even than salvation.
So this verse defines Uttama Bhakti. Devanam Gunalinganam Anushravika Karmanam Sattva Evaika Manaso Vritti Swabhaviki Tuya Animitta Bhagavati Bhakti Siddhe Gariyasi. So now, before I read and explain the meaning of this verse, I would like you to just take a moment and then think about every day, morning to evening, day after day, our whole life, we perform various activities, all the way including brushing the teeth, taking the bath, sleeping, eating, and going to school, college, university, working, office, etc. Everything, traveling, all these things. So here, our whole life we are performing various activities. Speaking is also an activity. So now, how we are performing all these activities and why we are performing all these activities? Can anyone tell?
For sustaining.
Okay. That is answer for what? Which question? How or why?
Why we are toiling, that is for sustenance. And how, without keeping Krishna for material motive, we do know that how may.
No, not philosophical answer, some practical answer.
Acha, acha.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare yeah, it's a need, Buji. We have to work. It is regarding like running our all resources are needed. So that is the requirement of the time that we work.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, then how we are performing all these activities?
Religiously,
Okay, there is a
time to
need.
time.
Through our senses.
See, for example, if you want to make a phone call to some devotee, if you want to send a WhatsApp or normal message to some devotee, how you are able to make a phone call and how you are able to write a message to someone?
By using mobile.
Perfect. Same way, we are saying that we are performing various activities such as speaking, reading, eating, writing, and walking, and doing so many activities. How we are doing all those activities?
By using our karmendriya.
Perfect. This is what the answer I am looking for. So we perform hundreds of activities throughout our life with the help of our senses. We have our karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, and manbuddhi, ahankara, chetana, all the 14 senses. We have 14 senses, and also we have our gross body at our disposal. With the help of this gross body and the senses, we perform various activities for our survival, and also from our bhakti point of view, for our going back home, back to Godhead. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. Basically, our whole life we are performing activities. The purpose of performing all the activities could be good or bad. Some people who are only interested in sense gratification, but some people are interested in sense gratification as well as going back to Godhead. Some people are purely interested in going back to Godhead. There are three possibilities are there. Only sense gratification plus going back to Godhead, only going back to Godhead. Yes or no? All the three possibilities are there?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So that means activity is performed by the same senses, but the purpose could be different. Now the third purpose is what is being defined here. When we use all our 14 senses only for the purpose of going back to Godhead, those activities are called Uttama Bhakti activities. When we perform various activities with the help of all these 14 senses and the gross body for the purpose of sense gratification as well as for going back to Godhead, those activities are called as mixed activities. And if we do activities only for the purpose of sense gratification, those activities can be called as abhakti activities or adharmic activities. Are you getting?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is the definition of bhakti. Rishikena sevanam bhakti ruchate. Bhakti means serving Rishikesha with Rishika, with all our senses and the body. That is the definition of bhakti. What was that Arnyabilasha Shunyam? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam means serving Lord Krishna with our 14 senses. With what mentality? Anya Abhilasha. There is no other mentality. There is no other desire. There is no other consideration of sense gratification. There is only one consideration, that is Anukulena Krishna Anusilanam. Serving the Lord as one pointed attention. There is no second here and there. That is Bhakti. That was the definition of Uttama Bhakti from Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasindhu and Sarvopadi Vinamuktam Tatparatya Nimanam Rishikesh Bhakti Uttama is the definition by Narada Muni in Narada Pancharatra, and by definition by Lord Kapila is this one. Devanam Gunalingana Manushravika Karmanam Sattva Evaika Manaso Urti Swabhavikituya Animitta Bhagavati Bhakti Siddhegariyasi. Bhakti to the Supreme Lord without material desires. Animitta Bhagavati Bhakti. What kind of Bhakti? Animitta Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means no other desires. There is only one desire, that is to serve the Lord alone. No serving oneself. So what do you mean by Bhakti? Bhakti is nothing but composed of various actions of the senses. Devanam Karmanam. Bhakti is nothing but sense activities. Every day morning we are getting up, brushing, taking bath, wearing new clothes, putting tilak, coming to temple hall, attending Mangalarti, singing, dancing, then chanting, then hearing Bhagavatam class, then having darshan of the Lord. We are engaging our Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana in Lord's service. Bhakti is nothing but activities of our senses. Devanam Karmanam. For what purposes we are engaging all these senses? To reveal the sense objects related to Supreme Lord. Normally, people in general perform various sense activities to enjoy the sense objects for their own enjoyment. Yes, na? People are going to office, working hard for the month so that they get salary, so that they can go to restaurant and have nice food. They can go to cinema theater, they can have nice visual experience. They can go to feel different, not holy places, different pleasure places where they can have nice enjoyment for their eyes. So like that. So people in general perform various activities through their senses for their own sense gratification. But in Bhakti, we perform various activities so that we can enjoy the sense objects in relation to Supreme Lord. People enjoy food, we eat Krishna Prasad. People go to different places for sightseeing. We go to temple for seeing the beautiful deity form of the Lord, especially this Chandana Yatra time. On Sunday days, the Lord's dressing is done in a special way by applying Chandan. There is special dressing, special darshan, so that the devotees can have a beautiful visual experience. And also nice prasadam. So like that. And also nice kirtan, nice katha for hearing. And nice dance. So all these things are happening, which conforms to Guru's instructions. Why are we doing all these things? Because Guru said so. We are not doing by our own speculation. Because our Gurus, our Acharyas, Guru Parampara has said so, we are doing it. How? With what determination we are doing? With mind dedicated exclusively to serve the Lord. Sattva eva eka manaso, with eka manasa. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Bhaushakai anansatya bodhoyo avyavasayana. Ekeha kurunandana we are doing. Sattva eva eka manasa. Which includes actions on the spontaneous level. We are not doing because somebody is telling, hey, do it, karo, nahi to paap lagega, ye lagega, nahi. Maybe initial days. But a person in Uttama Bhakti level is doing spontaneously. Swabhavika, it becomes one's natural swabhava to perform such kind of bhakti activities. And such kind of bhakti activities are superior to Brahmananda. Even though the jnanis and yogis might attain Brahman, might enter into Sahyajya Mukti, might enter into Brahman. whatever happiness they are experiencing after entering into Brahman is inferior to the experience experienced by a devotee in the spontaneous level. Even a devotee, while executing spontaneous Uttama Bhakti, whatever happiness he is experiencing, that happiness is much superior to the happiness of Brahmananda. That is the definition of Uttama Bhakti. Now all of us can evaluate ourselves. Are we practicing Uttama Bhakti? If we are practicing Uttama Bhakti, we are supposed to experience the happiness more than that of Brahmananda. Hare Krishna. So that Uttama Bhakti, Lord Kapila is recommending to Mother Devahuti to perform. If anyone perform that Uttama Bhakti, then easily will go to Vaikuntha. So please get ready. Any questions?
No, Prabhuji. Thank you.
All of you understood?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
In order to speak about Sankhya and Ashtanga Yoga filled with Bhakti, Lord Kapila describes Bhakti beyond the three gunas, the process suitable to attain the Supreme Lord, preferred by the Lord, about which Mother Devati asked in verse 29. Shita Bhakti. So what kind of Bhakti I am supposed to perform to attain you in the spiritual world? This kind of Bhakti one need to perform to attain the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. Lord Kapila is not just recommending Mother Devahuti. Lord Kapila is recommending all of us to practice this Bhakti. In response to your question, I recommend Uttama Bhakti, which has the characteristics of Abhinaya Vilachita Shunyam Bhakti Uttama. Such a Bhakti performed at the stage of Bhava is better than liberation. So, Lord Krishna also gives a definition of Sadhana Bhakti in the 11th canto, Uddhava Gita. Kriti Sadhya Bhavesadhya Bhavasa Sadhanabhida. Nityasiddhasya Bhavasya Prakatyam Kriti Sadhyata. Sorry. It is defined as action of the senses which produce the stage of Bhava is called Sadhana Bhakti. Basically, whatever activities with our senses we do, as indicated by Guru, when those activities will take us to Bhava eventually, and those activities are called as Sadhana Bhakti activities. This attained state of Bhava Bhakti is an eternal Sthai Bhava, which is not created but simply manifests within the soul by the spiritual energy of the Supreme Lord. So basically, that Bhava and Prema are naturally there in the core of the heart, but they are in deep slumber. In order to awaken that Krishna Prema and Bhava for the Supreme Lord, we need to execute Sadhana Bhakti. Execution of Sadhana Bhakti means engaging our Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Antakaranas, Manbuddhi, Ahankara, Chetana in the service of the Supreme Lord. And that engagement is known as Sadhana Bhakti. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karoi Uday. Okay. That Krishna Prema of Nitya Siddhas is also there within our heart. But how that will be revealed to us when we execute Shravana, Kirtana, etc. with complete determination, Shuddha, with purified heart. Eventually, Krishna Prema will be awakened within the core of our heart. In order to awaken that Bhava and Prema, we need to practice Sadhana Bhakti. And that Sadhana Bhakti is defined in 11th canto of Bhagavatam, in 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, in Bhakti Rasam Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Annavilasa Shunam is equal to Animitta. The Jnana Karma Anartham is Sattva Evaika Manaso. That means one pointed attention exclusively for Ananya Bhakti. No mixture of karma, no mixture of jnana, no mixture of yoga, no mixture of material desires. Anukuliyana means Gunalinganam. Krishna means Bhagavati. Anu means Anushravika. Shilana means Devanam Karmanam. Bhakti Uttama means Bhakti. So this is one-to-one correlation of the verse by Rupa Goswami to the verse by Lord Kapila. Animitta Bhagavati Bhakti. Bhakti performed unto the Supreme Lord without any material desires. That means Ananya Bhakti. Devanam Gunalinganam Anushravi Karmana means composed of actions of the senses to reveal the sense object related to Supreme Lord, which conforms to Guru's instructions. Basically, we are not performing material activities to get material objects. Instead, we are performing bhakti activities to experience Bhagavan. That kind of bhakti is called as Uttama Bhakti. We are eating, but we are not eating ordinary food. Instead, we are eating Krishna Prasad. We are seeing, but we are not seeing the ordinary sightseeing. We are seeing the Lord's form. We are speaking, we are not speaking ordinary words. Instead, we are speaking Krishna Katha or Krishna's holy names, chanting Krishna's holy names, singing Krishna's holy names. We are going to office or we are working not for sense gratification, but we are working so that we and our family members can practice bhakti. We are traveling to different places, not for sightseeing, but to different holy places to serve the Lord and devotees. Same senses, similar activities, but the intention and purpose are different. Tattva Evike Manaso, mind dedicated exclusively to the Lord. This is the most important one. Exclusive dedication to Supreme Lord. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Ekeha Kurunandana. Vritti Swabhavikituya. Then, if there is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, then Bhakti becomes quite natural. That is one second nature. Otherwise, Bhakti becomes very difficult activity every day, getting up early in the morning and sitting there for 2 hours and chanting, then Darshanarati, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, morning 4:30 onwards up to 9 o'clock. How many hours? 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9, 9:30, sometimes 5 hours. 5 continuous hours in the temple. What happened? One need to have a lot of conviction, lot of dedication to do it regularly, continuously. That is called Sattva Evaika Manasa. That kind of bhakti our Lord Kapila is defining, and executing that kind of bhakti. What happiness one experiences, that happiness is much greater than the happiness of Brahman. This is Lord Kapila is saying. Siddher Gariyasi. Siddhi means those who attain. Were comparable to the happiness of Uttama Bhaktas. Even they are here only. While executing bhakti, they are experiencing much of the happiness they experience after going to Vaikuntha. Sarvopade Vinirmuktam Tatparatveru Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Bhakti is defined as service to Supreme Lord using the senses. It should be done with the intention of pleasing the Supreme Lord. Tatparatvena, free of other desires, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam, and unobstructed by other processes. No karma disturbance, no jnana disturbance, no yoga disturbance, no this disturbance, no that disturbance. So here one-to-one mapping. So we have 3 verses, one-to-one mapping for each other. See, Devanam Gunalingana means Under the supervision of the Devatas, we are able to perform various activities with the help of our 14 senses. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 14 senses, the 14 variety of activities under supervision of Devatas. So if we perform these activities for service Supreme Lord, they are called Devanam Karyam. Otherwise, Indriya Upaboga Karyam. So in Uttama Bhakti, we have to perform Devanam Karyam. Otherwise, one performs Indriya Upaboga Karyam. Okay. All these things were also discussed long back in the second and third cantos in the beginning portions. So we'll not get into details. But basically, Bhakti is nothing but engaging these 14 senses in service of Supreme Lord, perform proper activities. Otherwise, they are called Abhakti activities. And Bhakti activities are called Uttama Bhakti. And an example of Ambarish Maharaj. How Ambarish Maharaj engaged all these 9 senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. Ambarish Maharaj always engaged his mind and consciousness in meditating upon the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Savai Manakrishna Padara Vindayor. Mana includes mind and consciousness. Vashamshi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. His words in describing the glories of Supreme Lord. Karau Harer Mandira Marjanadishu. His hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord. Shrutim Chakarachutaskatodeye. His ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna, that is Bhagavad Gita, are spoken about Krishna, that is Bhagavatam. Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drushau. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, or Krishna's temples and Krishna's spaces like Madura and Vrindavan. Holy places, holy temples, and holy deities. And then Tadbrutya Gatranga Sparshenga Sangamam. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. If they are senior devotees, touch their feet. If they are equals or even others, embrace them for that purpose. And then Maharaj Ambarisha always engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of Tulasi offered to the Lord. Gatram cha tatpada saroja saurabe. Or we can also smell Mahaprasad. When the prasad, after offering, when it is being served to the devotees, we can have nice fragrance, nice aroma. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasada, which was offered to Lord along with Tulasi. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite. Devotees only eat that kind of food stuff which was offered to the Supreme Lord along with Tulasi. If something is offered to Supreme Lord without Tulasi, one will not accept. That is the meaning of this. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite. Tadarpite with Tulasi. And that rasa only we taste, not others. That prasadam, liquid or solid prasadam. And then Shiro Rishikesha Padabi Vandane. He uses his head or his identity in bowing down before the Lord. Head indicates our ahankara, our identity. And then Kamam cha dasye natukama kamaya. He uses all his desires. Desires indicates intelligence and consciousness and mind in serving the Supreme Lord without desiring material enjoyment in order to develop rati for the Supreme Lord, which is possessed by great devotees. Edottama shloka janashraya rati. Why he is doing all these things? In order to get that Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti, which is possessed by great devotees. The Ambarish Maharaj is doing all these things. And doing all these things is called Bhakti. That is the definition of Bhakti. So he engaging all his senses. We have all the senses. Mind, consciousness, words, hands, ears, eyes, sense of touch, sense of smell, tongue, his legs here. Padav hare kshetra padanu sarpane. Okay. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord. Here the word is used as padanu sarpane. Just like sarpa, a snake walks very fast. Snake never walks, it actually runs always. Same way, a devotee should always run to temple. A devotee should not walk to temple. He should always run to temple. One should be eager to run, eager to attend Mangalarti, eager to attend Darshanarti, eager to attend Bhagavatam class, eager to attend even for Prasad. Run, 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 always like a sarpa. That shows we are practicing Uttama Bhakti. If we are walking, we are practicing mixed Bhakti. Only those who are running, they are practicing Uttama Bhakti. Those who are running, those who are walking, they are practicing mixed Bhakti. हाँ चलेगा अब जाएंगे क्या धीरे धीरे जाएंगे प्रसाद अंत पहुंचेंगे जल्दी जाके क्या करेंगे so like that. Okay, आपको you understood the example Ambarish Maharaj का? What do you mean by
Yes,
Uttama
Prabhu.
Bhakti and how to execute?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Lord Kapila is recommending all of us to practice that kind of bhakti. So let us see some notes. The bhakti is directed to Supreme Lord alone, Sattva Eva, the form of Shuddha Sattva, not to the Devatas. The devotee's mind should desire to accept the Lord's form and name with the thought that the Lord alone is most worthy of service. His mind does not reject the form as is the case with the yogis and others. So in the case of Ashtanga yoga practitioners, they will meditate upon Paramatma and they will reject Paramatma when they are about to enter into Sahyajya Mukti. But devotees are not like that. Even while practice and even in perfection also, they continue to serve the Lord with one pointed attention. His mind is concentrated on one process, that is worship of the Supreme Lord, not on jnana, not on karma. That is Nishkama Bhakti to the Supreme Lord, in which actions of the senses, of the sense devatas, who reveal the objects of the senses such as sound, are directed to the Supreme Lord. So whatever activity we perform, they are all accomplished under the supervision of devatas. That's why he uses the word Devanam Gunalinganam. We perform activity to accomplish some pattern, purpose, particular goal, and that is accomplished only under the supervision of devatas. Nishkama Bhakti means actions of the senses which are engaged spiritually and are dedicated to Supreme Lord. Sakama Bhakti means we perform bhakti activities to get something from the Lord for our enjoyment. Nishkama Bhakti means we perform all the activities exclusively for the enjoyment of the Supreme Lord, not for our enjoyment. One should be thinking only, I should be a devotee. Thus, bhakti is actions of the senses with the exclusive mentality of being a Vaishnava. Bhakti is not action of the senses which act on their own, but actions of the senses according to the mantra given by the Guru. Bhakti is not like some so-called activities. Mera man pe lage, main aise karta hu. Not like that. Whatever we perform, they are all under the direction of Guru. Anushravika karmanam, following the instructions of the Guru. The senses should have daily actions in accordance with the mantra concerning the Lord given by Guru. An example from Vishnu Rahasya. So whatever activity that we perform, this should be under the instruction of Guru and according to the activities prescribed. So one simple activity is also called as Bhakti here mentioned is because the mind maintains a healthy state by excretion of urine and stool. The anus and urinary organs should also be considered as senses engaged in Lord's service. Every day morning, after getting up, one goes to bathroom, brushes the teeth, takes bath, but before that passes urine and stool and engages his the urinary and excretory organs. Because when that is done, one's mind can focus on bhakti activities during morning program. Otherwise, the mind will focus on passing the urine, passing stool only. So they say that even the activity of the urinary and excretory organs are also considered bhakti, because so that one can focus on bhakti activities afterwards. Thus, even these organs by functioning in relation to bhakti are to be considered part of Vedic sadhana bhakti. The word tu causing differentiation indirectly indicates sadhya bhakti in the form of bhava bhakti or raganuga type. So basically, the tu indicates in the shloka there is a word tu. Vritti swabhaviki tuya. Swabhaviki tu ya. So initially, we may need push by our friends, our guru, the Vedic scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so that we can practice bhakti. But one day we'll come to a state where one can execute bhakti spontaneously. That spontaneous bhakti is called as swabhaviki tuya. Vritti swabhaviki tuya. That is called bhava bhakti. At the bhava platform, one no need to have any push from outside. One spontaneously executes bhakti. Before bhava bhakti platform, one need some inspiration, some impetus to practice bhakti. That is the distinction. That means sadhana bhakti, to perform sadhana bhakti from ado shraddha, bhajana kriya, ado shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anata nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti tak, we need some impetus, we need some push. But when it comes to bhava bhakti, no push is required. That's why bhava bhakti is different from sadhana bhakti. And that bhava bhakti is of raganuga type, and that means one naturally executes bhakti activities. The bhakti with natural functioning of the senses is better than liberation. Spontaneous action of the senses directed to Supreme Lord is superior to liberation. That means bhava bhakti which is performed spontaneously is better than liberation, and that bhakti has two divisions. Bhava bhakti has two divisions. One bhava bhakti one can perform, or one bhava bhakti one can attain by the practice of Vedic sadhana bhakti. Another bhava bhakti one can come to by the practice of raganuga sadhana bhakti. So if one comes to bhava bhakti by the practice of Vedic sadhana bhakti, that bhava bhakti is called as Vedi bhava bhakti. Or if one comes to bhava bhakti by the practice of raganu sadhana bhakti, that bhava bhakti is called as raganuga bhava bhakti. So thus, bhava bhakti has two divisions. One can develop natural action of the senses toward the Lord by ascending through the stages of nishtha, ruchi, and finally asakti by the constant practice of engagement in pure bhakti as directed by Guru, following the dictates of scriptures, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Similar to the spontaneous attraction of the senses in the material world to husband or sons, one may also develop spontaneous attraction of the senses without awareness of these awareness of the dictates of the scriptures, in which the senses act according to Bhakti Shastras previous to or after taking instructions from Guru due to outstanding impressions arising from the mercy of great devotees in this or the previous life. Basically, one can practice Bhava Bhakti, or one can come to the state of Bhava Bhakti by the practice of Vedic Sadhana Bhakti under the instruction of a Guru. That is what we are all of doing. So we need some impetus, we need some inspiration to practice Vedic Sadhana Bhakti. Eventually, one day we come to Vedic Bhava Bhakti, where we can practice Bhakti spontaneously without any push. But we have come there by the push of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Otherwise, some people naturally, spontaneously have developed inclination to serve the Lord in Dasya, Sakya, Vasalya or Madhurya Rasas, being inspired by Vrajavasis. They don't have to study so much Shastra. They have attained this attachment spontaneously. The spontaneous development of attachment is called as Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. After developing the attachment, whatever bhakti one performs, that bhakti is called as Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. Though these two paragraphs are explained in so technical terms, but this is the essence. One may come to Bhava Bhakti by the practice of Sadhana Bhakti, or one may come to Bhava Bhakti by the practice of Raga.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, we are not able to listen. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We are not able to listen.
Unable to listen.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Kindly describe Raganuga Bhakti, Raganuga Bhava Bhakti, please.
Hare
again.
Krishna Guruji. Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti that you told, no, we can reach to both the place. That I'm not able to understand. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji is not there, Mataji.
Where is Prabhuji?
There must be some technical problem.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Now we are able to listen.
Okay. So we'll continue. So here there are two statements about Bhava Bhakti. In two ways, one can come to Bhava platform and can practice Bhava Bhakti. The first one is by the practice of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, which is practiced by following the instructions of Guru and Shastra, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Whatever we are doing in the temple every day, day in, day out, is all Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. Our Guru, our Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus are continuously inspiring us through their talks, through their books, how to practice Bhakti, how to execute Bhakti, so that we can develop, we can go through Anartha Nivritti and we can develop Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, and finally we can come to Bhava platform. And then whatever Bhava Bhakti that we perform, for that Bhava Bhakti, no inspiration is required. No impetus is required. One is spontaneously inclined to practice Bhakti. That is called Bhava Bhakti. And we come to that place by practicing Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. Hare Krishna, devotees are still not able to hear me?
Now we
No,
can hear
Yes,
you.
Prabhuji, hearing. Prabhuji, we can hear you, Prabhuji.
Some devotees sent a message, that's why I'm asking. Yeah. One category. Okay. One
Prabhuji,
category of devotees who come to Bhava Bhakti is by the practice of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. So other category of devotees who already have natural spontaneity, and then they come to Bhava platform. The example is just like in our family, we take care of our family members spontaneously. No one to tell us that No need to tell the parents, especially when they have a new baby. Does anybody tells them that अभी आपको छोटा बेटा हो गया, छोटा बच्चा हो गया, you need to take care of the small kid? Does anybody will tell them?
No, Prabhuji.
They will take care of the baby because they feel that the baby is theirs, their baby. Their happiness is in serving the baby, in taking care of the baby. Or any other family members like wife to husband, husband to wife, parents to children, children to parents, siblings, brother to sister, sister to brother, and friend to friend. Whatever we do in our family, everything we do naturally. No one has to tell. A responsible person is no need to be told. Others have to be told. That is other case. But normal human lifestyle, we naturally take care of our family members. When that natural attraction is directed to Supreme Lord, that is called Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti. So currently, we have natural inclination to take care of our family members. When the Supreme Lord becomes our family member, and we started serving the Supreme Lord, considering him to be family member, that is called Sadhana Bhakti. But the day when it comes, when we actually accept the Lord as our family member and want to serve him in different rasas, some might want to serve him Madhurya Rasa, some might want to serve him Vasalya Rasa, some might want to serve him Dasya Rasa, Sakya Rasa. That Bhakti, which is naturally performed in that understanding, is called Raga Nuga Bhava Bhakti. Okay, now it is clear, the distinction.
Yes, Prabhu.
So trying to come to that platform is called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Having come to that platform and having continued to serve the Lord in that particular emotion is called Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. There, lot of spontaneity, lot of intimacy is there. But in the case of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, one need to be told by Guru, Sadhu Shastra, you do it. Follow 4 regulated principles, get up early in the morning, take bath, come to temple, if not every day, on Sundays at least. Attend the entire morning program starting from Mangalarti all the way up to Bhagavatam class, followed by Mahaprasad. Almost 6-7 hours. Especially our Chowpatty temple, morning 5 o'clock all the way up to 11:30. 7 hours. So initial days, somebody has to tell us, karo, karo, karo. But when one comes to Bhava platform, no one is to tell. One spontaneously executes all those things with complete attachment. So like that. Otherwise, somebody in between also, from Bhajana Kriya to Anata Nivritti Nishtha Ruchi Asakti. So thus, we can have 4 divisions. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, and Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. The spontaneity developed from Vaidhi Bhakti as excellence of quantity. Quantity means Aishwarya, mood. Examples are given in many verses. 34 to 37 will talk about Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti, which are explained in NOD, chapter 17, 18, 19. And chapter 2 to 14 talks about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. From Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti to Vaidhi Bhavana Bhakti. So verses 34 to 37 will talk about Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti. What kind of mentality will one have when one comes to the platform of Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti. And then the second type of spontaneity generated from Raganuga as excellence of type, that is intimacy or rasa, at the stage of sadhana and sadhya. An example is given in 38th verse. So 38th verse talks about Raganuga Bhava Bhakti, which is attained by executing Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is explained in chapter 15 and 16, and Raganuga Bhava Bhakti is explained in chapter 17 to 19. Raganuga Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Compared to the 2 spontaneous type of bhakti, that means Bhava Bhaktis, Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti and Raganuga Bhava Bhakti, unspontaneous bhakti, that is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, is inferior in quantity and type. An example is given in 39 and 40. These two verses talks about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So here this chapter only talks about three. The Vaidhi Raganuga Bhakti, we have to understand how it is. But this 39 to 40 talks about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and 34 to 37 talks about Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti, 38 talks about Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. That is the rest of the chapter. So what do you mean by Raganuga Bhava Bhakti, Raganuga Vaidhi Bhava Bhakti and Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? We can understand in these verses how one practices and what kind of result one gets. These verses will talk about it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Hari bol. Prabhuji, Vedic Bhakti means according to rules and regulations जो practice करते हैं उसको Vedic Bhakti बोलते हैं ना? तो फिर उसमें वो तो according और rules and regulations, तो फिर भाव भक्ति में तो according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu के उसमें कोई rules and regulations नहीं होते हैं. So how we can understand this?
Rules and regulations रहते हैं, but बोलने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ता है. They know, for example, how to take care of the child. The mother will be informed by her mother. Like there are parents, they have a daughter, she was given in marriage, and after 1-2 years, she gives birth to a child. When the first child birth is there, she will be told everything, how to do and what to do by her mother or her aunt or mother-in-law or whatever. The previous ladies who have the experience of taking care of the children, they will tell the girl who newly become mother, they will tell everything. But when she becomes mother second time, does anybody have to tell her anything more?
No.
Learning how to take care of the children, that is called sadhana bhakti. Second time she do herself, that is called bhava bhakti. She already experienced.
तो प्रभु जी अभी हम जो भक्ति कर रहे हैं, अभी हम जो भक्ति कर रहे हैं 16, हमारे गुरु महाराज ने बोला do 16 round chanting, do अर्च विग्रह पूजा, भागवतम रीडिंग, भगवद गीता. तो this is रागानुगा भक्ति और वैदिक भक्ति.
Vedic bhakti only.
Because no, but nobody is on our own ना कि अभी ये कर लो वो कर लो. We are doing with your own.
No, you get to know what to do by Guru only ना.
हाँ.
आपने हिसाब से बात चालू किया क्या भक्ति?
नहीं.
Some devotee came in our life and they told us what to do and how to do.
हाँ.
Because we are doing something because somebody told us. That is Vedic sadhana bhakti.
वैदिक साधना भक्ति, ओके. और वही भक्ति जब हम भाव के अपने आप करने लगते हैं और अपने आप कुछ ऐड करने लगते हैं, दैट इज भाव भक्ति.
यस. अपने आप like what? अपने आप नहीं. We may say that. अभी no one is telling me I'm getting up every day morning. I'm taking my beadbags and chanting. Not like that. It means.
Hello, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
The Lord is
your voice is not
coming.
Your voice is not coming. Hare Krishna.
Other devotees are able to hear me. Hare Krishna.
Now
Okay.
we are able.
Sorry. The internet issue
We can hear you.
Beyond my hand. So Bhava Bhakti means Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Janavata, like that. So I don't want anything else in this world. I only want Lord's service. But in Sadhana Bhakti, we have Bhakti activities, we also have worldly responsibilities. Everything is there. We try to dovetail every activity toward the Supreme Lord. But by the time one comes to Bhava, one is like a sannyasi. One has nothing to do with worldly activities. One is exclusively engaging in Bhakti activities. That is Bhava. And that engagement is also spontaneous. There is no need to get inspiration from somebody, from Shastra, some Guru. Because one is, for one, the Lord is everything. The Lord is more than oneself at the Bhava platform. And that is where we discussed in Bhakti Shastri also. At this time in the Bhava platform, one is serving the deity. One serves. One day he says, My dear Lord, serving your Murti Seva, Murti ho gaya, bahut ho gaya. I want to serve you in person. I can't live any moment in this world. I can't stay anymore in this world. Please take me to spiritual world. I want to serve you in person. That is the beginning of prema. Prema means
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
अभी बहुत हो गया इधर.
आवाज जा ही नहीं रहा मेरा आज. हरे
Yes,
कृष्ण
Mataji.
प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम. Can you hear me? Yes,
Yes,
प्रभु
Mataji.
जी, there is a question in my mind. जैसे our gurus, they are also told by their guru and sadhu shastra, but now their level is too high. Like they are on the they are doing everything themselves. So that will be Vedi Bhava Bhakti, na?
See, now again, don't take people in our discussion.
Okay.
Even one may be on the platform of Bhava and Prema. One may intensely have a desire to go back to spiritual world and serve the Lord in person directly. But for the need of the hour, in order to deliver the conditioned souls, they may come down one step below and they preach to all of us how to execute sadhana bhakti. What they are teaching us is how to do sadhana bhakti. That doesn't mean that they are on the level of sadhana bhakti. They could be on the Bhava and Prema platform, but to deliver us, they are teaching us sadhana bhakti. Given a chance,
Okay,
they might say that no, I'll go to spiritual world right now, but they don't go because of their compassion towards us. They are qualified to go back to spiritual right away, but they don't go. If they don't go, who will teach us? If they go, who will teach us?
Yes.
That's how we have to understand.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So
Hare
we don't have to
Krishna.
judge who is on the Bhava platform, who is there. We can honor that they are already on the Bhava platform, but they are teaching us how to practice sadhana bhakti. Just because they are teaching,
Yes.
we cannot tell that they are sadhakas, they are still sadhana bhaktas. They may still say, we are also struggling, we are also like sadhakas. So we have to honor and respect it, but we should not judge based on that.
No, my question was, Prabhuji, like we are doing Vedi Bhakti. I
Yes.
understood that you are telling that our guru, or maybe they are from the spiritual world only and they are just came here. So we can't, so you are telling we can't count them in Vedi Bhakti because it is not their level. Like that you are telling?
We should not analyze in that sense. We should always treat them as Uttama Bhaktas and offer all respects.
Yes.
We should treat them like they are on the level of Bhava and Prema, but out of compassion for us, they are teaching us how to practice sadhana bhakti and they are behaving like a sadhana bhaktas. Like that, we should consider and offer all respects.
Okay, Prabhuji. I got it. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी, हम कैसे समझें कि हम कौन से लेवल पे हैं? पैरामीटर क्या होगा हमारा?
Do you have the desire that I can't? Are you saying? You means? Are we saying that? अभी बहुत हो गया. I don't want to stay any more here in this world. I want to go back to spiritual right away. Do we have that desire? If we have that desire, that means we are in the Bhava and Prema platform.
Otherwise, बीच में लटके हुए.
हाँ, otherwise बीच में लटका होगा. अभी देखो प्रसादम का थोड़ा लेट होगा तो we cast fiery glance toward the speaker. क्या कितना लेट बहुत हो गया. प्रसाद का टाइम हो गया. So मतलब I'm sorry to give this example because somebody told me this example. At one time in Gordon village, they told that evening 5 to 7 will be Prabhupada's offerings. That is on Nandosov, on the day of Prabhupada appearance day, and followed by Nandosov feast will be there. And devotees were fasting since morning, and somehow it happened that the day many devotees did not have lunch also. They were fasting till evening. So doing all the arrangements in Gordhaniko village. So we were fasting the whole day. Previous day also we fasted, and that day also we were fasting. And they told that 5 to 7 will be offerings and the 7 p.m. we'll have prasadam. So all of us were eagerly waiting when 7 will happen. This day also no prasadam. We had water but no prasadam. Second day also. So the offerings began at 5:30. It is already 7, still not ending. 7:58. They are going on, going on, going on. And the devotees became impatient. Prasadam, 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 impatient. Finally, at 8:45, it all ended. After 9, devotees were allowed to honor prasadam. So from 7 to 8:45, the devotees were glancing fierily at the devotees who are offering. Because they told at 7 and everyone was mentally fixed that 7 o'clock we are going to honor prasadam. And they did not mind for not having prasadam since morning. But after 7, they could not take anything further. The next day, Bhagavatam class, the Bhagavatam speaker was telling about this. See, yesterday we were all feeling like that. This is our level. So we are really at the lower level of sadhana bhakti. So he was telling that even though Prabhupada offerings are going on, for Prabhupada, what he did for all of us, he had so many sleepless nights, so many foodless days and all. Still, but we are not able to tolerate for 2 hours or 1 hour, 1.5 hours without prasadam. So that is our level, like that. That day Bhagavatam speaker was saying, and I can echo even today also. So many times, if something goes beyond our assumed thing, we can't take it. That shows we are not in Bhava level. We are at a much lower level of sadhana. So like that. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I just gave one example. This is how we can understand.
Thank you.
At what level we are.
Thank you.
And many times, if somebody says something wrong about us, take it to our heart and we become very angry immediately. How can you say, how dare you to say all these things? This, that. We immediately become judgmental about it and all. When somebody is on the Bhava platform, one does not worry. Whether somebody praise, somebody criticize, is indifferent to all those things. One is only interested in serving the Lord, not about one's own praise, not about one's own criticism. So like that, we can see.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So other devotees have any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there is a question. So Prabhuji, we are doing everything now, like we are trying to do everything properly, like you are telling, but still our level is like that we feel like small things. So what will be your, like, so what will be our destination?
We are, if we are trying to do, means we are in sadhana bhakti, and we are doing spontaneously and naturally, means one has come to Bhava Bhakti.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Bhakti alone is the result sought in these 2 types of bhakti, since they have no material desire. Liberation is the unsought result. Prema Bhakti is alone what is sought after by executing all these sadhana activities. That is what our desire. Our desire is to come to the platform of Prema Bhakti and able to serve the Lord in person for the rest of eternity in Lord's abode. That is the goal. Liberation is not at all the goal of devotees. But liberation also comes as an unsought result. Unsought result. That is explained in the next verse. Jarayati ashuya kosham nigiranam analoyata. Someone can read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Bhakti devotional service dissolves the subtle body of the living entity without separate efforts, just as fire in the stomach digests all that we eat. Hare Krishna.
With an example, how bhakti works is given in this verse. How one comes to the Bhava platform, Prema platform, and eventually how one goes to spiritual world. That is indicated with this line. This bhakti, those who practice this Uttama Bhakti as defined in the previous verse, quickly destroys the subtle body, just as the digestive fire consumes food. So we are able to execute bhakti with the help of our senses. So if you remember, bhakti means executing activities with the help of these 14 senses. And the combination of these 14 senses is called as subtle body. We are performing bhakti with the use of these 14 senses. But that bhakti itself will destroy the subtle body, so that one will go back home back to Godhead after giving up the subtle body. It is with the help of our subtle body we engage in bhakti, and that bhakti will destroy the subtle body, and hence we will go back home back to Godhead. Unless until we destroy our subtle body, we cannot go to spiritual world. Gross body will be destroyed naturally by the process of death, but it is by the practice of bhakti we will destroy our subtle body. Destroying subtle body means destroying material conception of our life, destroying all our material desires, destroying all our material outlook of our existence. Instead, we will only have one outlook of our existence, that is Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. The Jivka Swarupa is Krishnadas. Let me only serve the Lord for the rest of it. Then the life's activity is to serve the Supreme Lord alone. Nothing else I have to do in this world. Such a bhakti quickly destroys the subtle body, like digestive fire consumes food. Asochan anvasochasvam prajna vadam shabashate gatasu nagatasun cha nanu sochanti pandita. The wise do not lament for the gross body or for the subtle body. That bhakti destroys the subtle body. However, however, the distinction of this liberation from the liberation caused by jnana, that is Sahajya Mukti, is shown with an example. It is like the fire of digestion devouring the edible items like the food. Having no alternative for nourishing the body, the fire of digestion destroys only the useless portions of the eaten food, but nourishes the life hairs, senses, and dhatus by the good portion of the food. The understanding is that we eat 300 grams of food every day. From the 300 grams of food, 100 grams of food will nourish our body, which is the essence of the 300 grams of food. And the remaining 200 grams of food will come out in the form of urine and stool. The useless part of the food has been burnt by the digestive fire. And normally from the external world point of view, when something is burnt, what we get is ash. And within the stomach, when that useless portion of the food is burnt, it will come out as stool and urine. But the useful portion will nourish our entire body, which is transformed in the form of blood, flesh, bones, marrow, and other things. Also, otherwise, which will transform in the form of sattva, the energy by which we are sustained for that entire day or for that half day from that food. So like that. By this, the body gains strength of muscles, senses, and mind. Our mind, our senses, our muscles, our whole body becomes strong and gets nourished and able to perform so many activities. Similarly, bhakti destroys only the bad portions, the material aspect of the sense objects, sound, etc., the material senses and the material sense devatas, Adi Bhuta, Adi Atma, and Adi Daiva. The material aspects of Adi Bhuta, Adi Atma, and Adi Daiva will be destroyed or will be given away. Just like we give away the stool, the leftover food in the form of stool and urine. Similarly, when we practice bhakti, the good portion of bhakti activities will nourish our soul, and the remaining portion of our bhakti activities will slowly will give away our gross body and our subtle body. When we give away our gross body and subtle body, we remains with our nourished soul. That is the activity of this bhakti. That means bhakti, as a bhakti, we will give up our material disposition and we will remain with our spiritual disposition. Our material disposition is currently, I am Pandu Santoju, I am a brahmachari, I am an engineer, I am male, I possess this, all these things. That is our material disposition. And our spiritual disposition, and we need to give this material disposition, and we should remain with our spiritual disposition is that I am the servant of 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 the Prajavasis. That is our spiritual disposition. So when we execute sadhana bhakti, eventually when we come to bhava bhakti and prema bhakti platform, only this understanding will remain. All other understandings will be evaporated. Just like the digestive fire consumes food. So digestive fire is like bhakti. And the leftover food in the form of stool and urine is like our gross body and subtle body. And the nourishment of the body is like regaining our understanding that we are the servant of the servant of the servant of the Vrajavasis. Dasa dasa nudasa. That is how bhakti functions. It does not destroy the good portions, the sense objects and the natural senses which are related to the Supreme Lord. By these sense objects and senses, the spiritual body of the devotee appears. The material aspect of the body will be destroyed. The spiritual aspect of the body will be rejuvenated or nourished or manifested. Thus, when the scriptures talk about the destruction of the body and senses, they refer to the material aspects of the subtle body and gross body. Jnana is incomplete in destruction of the subtle body. Jnana alone does not destroy the subtle body. When jnana mixed with bhakti, it is by the empowerment of bhakti, one's subtle body can be destroyed, and eventually one develop one's spiritual body and one will enter into the spiritual abode. This is what bhakti does to all of us. So one example is how to come to that platform. Tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha tyagena satva sauchabhyam yamena niyamena va. Dehavag buddhijam dhira dharmagnya shraddhayanvita. Kipanti yagam mahad api venugulmam ivanala. So these are all various rules and regulations that we need to practice in sadhana bhakti. By avoiding enjoyments, by avoiding association with women, women means the object of sense gratification, by controlling the mind as much as possible, by controlling the external senses, by giving charity, by following the truthfulness and cleanliness, by following yamas like non-violence and niyamas like japa. The wise men, knowers of dharma, knowers of Bhagavad Dharma, filled with faith, destroy even great sin arising from the body, words and mind, intelligence, just like fire destroys a clump of bamboos. These are all different rules and regulations that we need to follow in sadhana bhakti in order to come to that bhava bhakti, in order to destroy our gross body and subtle body, in order to develop our spiritual body. Here is one more verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yatai damsi samit dognir basmasat kurute arjuna jnanagni sarva karmani basmasat kurute tata. As a blazing fire burns to ashes all fuel wood, the fire of knowledge turns to ashes all actions. Thus, the knowledge arising from the purity of the heart destroys all karmas except the prarabdha karmas, those which are being experienced in this life. Aprarabdha karmas are those which are waiting for the future lives, not in this life. Jnana destroys the prarabdha karmas, but not aprarabdha karmas, but not the prarabdha karmas. But bhakti destroys both prarabdha and aprarabdha karmas. Some distinction between bhakti and jnana. Jnana immediately destroys all the aprarabdha karmas, but bhakti can also destroy prarabdha karma. That is the specialty of bhakti. My dear Uddhava, just as a blazing fire burns to ashes all the fuel, similarly, devotional service in relation with me burns to ashes all the sinful reactions. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. So basically, when we execute bhakti, what happens to us? Some verses are taken as a reference to help us understand in this regard. Similarly, bhakti liberates the devotee who daily performs hearing and chanting and experiences as sweet taste without striving for liberation at all. The devotee does not even ask how or when he will get liberation. Devotee is only interested in serving the Lord. Devotee does not demand, my dear Lord, when are you taking me to spiritual world? Why are you not taking me to spiritual world today? Why delay? Such kind of demand will not be there in devotees. But devotee will wait for Lord's mercy and continue to serve the Lord. Just as a person walking on the path steps over a hoof print of a cow without seeing it out, so the devotee attains liberation. For the devotees, attaining liberation is not a big thing. It is as simple as stepping across a small puddle of water, like a water in the cow footprint. The devotees lack knowledge of the three stages of Brahman, but by bhakti and by the mercy of the Lord, they gain knowledge in the form of experiencing Lord's form, qualities, pastimes, powers, sweetness, and then attains liberation as a byproduct. Even though one may not be intellectual to understand what is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, but if one engages the 14 senses in the service of the Supreme Lord, being instructed by Guru, that service will give them all the knowledge. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chaya Tayadukam. Vairagya and Jnana, everything will be automatically revealed when we spontaneously engage in service of the Supreme Lord as instructed by the spiritual master. One no need to do hardships to gain this knowledge instead, but one need to follow the instructions of Guru and serve the Lord selflessly. That should be done. Otherwise, it is not recommended. So there are some notes are there, something related to all these things. You may read all this. So may not be required. So this one slide we'll see for today and then we'll close for class. We already 1:30. The actions of the senses for the Lord, divide of jnana and karma, divide of other desires, following the rules mentioned in the devotional scriptures, using the mantra given by Guru, but which is small in quantity, is called Swadhana Bhakti. That means we are doing everything, but inspired by Guru, inspired by Sadhu, inspired by Shastra, and without spontaneity. Such kind of bhakti is called as sadhana bhakti. And the sadhana bhakti is described in text number 39 and 40, which is elaborately explained in Nectar of Devotion from text chapter number 2 to 14. Because we always need some inspiration, we always need some guidance. That is called Vedi sadhana bhakti. When it becomes full in quantity as sadhya bhakti, the results of sadhana, it becomes spontaneous bhava bhakti. So when we do automatically, without any impetus, without any inspiration, it becomes our life. That is called spontaneous bhava bhakti or Vedi bhava bhakti. That is explained in text number 34 to 7, which is explained in NOD chapter 17 to 18. Vedi bhava bhakti and Vedi prema bhakti in chapter 19. In that way. When the bhakti is small in quantity, but has more spontaneity in it, it is called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. That means there is natural inclination to serve the Lord, but one is not serving the Lord 24/7. One is also doing other activities. That is still sadhana state. That is called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. But when the spontaneity and the quantity become full, it becomes Bhava Bhakti of Raganuga type. Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. That means one has spontaneous attraction to Supreme Lord and also serving the Lord 24/7. That is called spontaneous Bhava Bhakti or Raganuga Bhava Bhakti. So in this way, there are 4 stages. So these things you can see from chapter 15 to 17, 17, 18. These distinctions are found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are the 4 different stages of practice of Bhakti, practice of Uttama Bhakti. And we will see these 4 stages which are described in the rest of the chapter in the future classes. And then some examples are there, Jnana and Yoga, how their Bhakti gives liberation as an unsought result. Some references are there. You can read all these references. I put notes, will not discuss. All these next 3-4 slides, all different references are there. Ultimately, one comes to the platform of Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti, and how to engage our 14 senses in that Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti platform. We can also take a reference from Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mameve Satyante Pratijanu Presmi. This we have also discussed in our Bhakti Shastri elaborately. You can read through these notes. What do you mean by Manmana? Manmana means engaging our Antakaranas, mind, intelligence, Ahankara and Chetana. Mad Bhakti means engaging our 10 senses in the service of the Lord. Madhyaji means engaging the entire world, all the objects of the world in the service of Supreme Lord. That is engaging 5 Tanmatras. And Mam Namaskuru means engaging our gross body in the service of the Supreme Lord. In that way, we are engaging all our 24 elements in our body in the service of the Supreme Lord. So when we give everything that we have to the Lord, Lord will give us everything that He has. That means Lord offers Himself to us. If you offer everything in your possession to me, then I will offer myself to you. Ye etamam prapadyante tam taiva bhajamiham. That is how the Lord reciprocates. That is the Uttama Bhakti. That is the definition of Uttama Bhakti, and that will be the result of Uttama Bhakti. So these are for today, and we discussed, and other notes you can read, and we'll stop here, and we'll continue next week from 34 verse onwards. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Any questions?
Hare Krishna.
No questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Question, one question, Prabhuji. Dandavat. One question, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please. Ask Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, as you told here, explain that for devotional service in Bhakti, it is important the mood should be, one should be servant of Brajvasi. Right, Prabhuji? But we see in devotional service, for in management, and there is different meetings also conducted. That is all part of devotional service. But in that meeting, we fight like anything. So in particular, that situation, we don't think that we are a servant of all these things. So how to, Prabhuji, how to see these things?
That means you are not
How to understand this, Prabhuji?
platform. We are still in sadhana state. We are still struggling. We are trying to follow. So there is a concept of servant of the servant in the back of the mind. We are trying to follow. We will not be able to come to that point immediately, but we are trying to come. Just like in the initial days, when we were told, especially the Telugu people, when they were told that no intoxication, which includes tea, coffee, and cool drinks and all. For Telugu people, giving up tea is very difficult. Because since childhood, everyone is so much addicted to tea. Every day, an average Telugu person drinks at least 3 to 4 cups of the tea, morning to late night. So it becomes very difficult to give up the tea. but slowly they'll give up. Same way, all these our standards are very high. To come to that level is it takes time. It cannot. Eventually, one will come to the platform of Uttama Bhakti platform.
Okay,
We are
Prabhuji.
making an effort to follow.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much
So,
for
Prabhuji,
joining.
it will take lifetimes, Prabhuji.
Sometimes it may take only one lifetime. Sometimes 2, 3, 4, 10, 100 also. Based on one's determination and seriousness.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna.